Paddling jacks, driving on the tracks, and so much more. Come along with all things outdoors.
G'day folks, welcome back to another episode of All Things Outdoors. I'm off on a bit of a different mission today, not too dissimilar though. I started this project about 2 years ago where I've been looking for a really good bush campsite locally that I can come back to on a regular basis and really sort of establish a campsite there. Nothing too serious, of course. We don't want to break any rules or laws or anything like that for occupying a piece of bush, but I've done a lot of research in my local area and using the tools at my disposal to find a really nice campsite, and I've come out to this undisclosed location today to try and find it. So we're going to do a bit of a bush bashing this morning up to a location that I hope is going to be a nice flat area for a campsite, some good sort of permanent source of water, and a place that we can come back to regularly and kind of make our own, I guess, again without breaking any laws. Right, down there is exactly the sort of conditions I was looking for. We've got a nice, what looks like to be a permanent creek, and you can see there's a lot of fernery and sort of lush greenery that's lining the creek, which is exactly what I want. I want to find a nice green lush location that I can come back to, and you know, obviously if we've got a permanent water source up here, all that much better, we can stay out for longer. So let's keep following this creek up the valley and see if we can't find a little flat spot that's perhaps at the junction of a creek and a gully where we can set up a camp. Always helps when you find a nice little game trail to follow too, because the bush around here gets quite thick at times, so we might see if we can stick with this for as long as possible. Now I am out on my own today in some fairly remote bushland in the foothills of the Victorian High Country, so I've had to upgrade my safety kit, and I've got myself a little satellite communicator which has the built-in SOS button, and it relies on a subscription service. This particular device is the DeLorme InReach SE. I believe DeLorme's been bought out by Garmin now, so I've had to lodge the device with Garmin, which is fine because I've already got Garmin accounts. So this will give me some peace of mind if I get into trouble out here, that I can hit that SOS button and be rescued. Yes, this is exactly what I was looking for, that tree fern over there. That's the sort of vegetation I want to see in this valley where I can establish a campsite. Stuff like that. It's really pretty, and you can tell that the valley is nice and lush if you can see tree ferns in here. So we're onto it. We're just going to get away from these bloody blackberries first. This creek is super pretty. I'm seeing more tree ferns, a lot of sort of ground ferns along here, and it looks like the blackberry is starting to die off a bit, but I'm coming through some of this really dense scrubby stuff that's making pushing through it quite difficult. I've been able to find some game trails, but you know, they sort of peter out after a while, but I'm really liking what I'm seeing so far. This little spot here would actually be quite nice if we've got a good access to the creek down there. We've got some nice big tree ferns up there, lovely little groves of ground ferns, and there's a nice sort of clear space here at the base. Alright, I'll see if I can find a way down to the creek from here. Okay, so we do have access to the creek down here, and it's a really pretty spot, but the bank's kind of steep. But I can see just over the other side there that it's quite clear through the ferns over there, and I'm just wondering if we can get to the other side and have a look at that side of the creek, because it's right on the bed of the creek. Wow, a pretty little spot. Oh wow, what a nice spot. Beautiful little creek. Okay, let's have a bit of a scout around this area and see if we can't find a nice little flat pad that we could potentially make a campsite on. Already really impressed with the creek. It looks beautiful, good access to water down here. Looks like it's a real permanent stream, especially in the cooler months where we're going to be doing this with. Today I'm running this little chest bag, which I've been told people call a joey pouch. Now I found this through a bloke called Matsy from the Silly Swagman. Shout out to Matsy, top bloke. Which I found is really great to carry all of those quick access types things, like especially for me being a YouTuber, camera batteries, cameras, that sort of thing. But not only that, you can put snacks in there, you know, GPSs, stuff like that. That's really quick access that you need, rather than stopping, taking your bag off all the time, or heaven forbid, using a bum bag. You wouldn't catch me in one of those, but I'm really enjoying this thing so far. So thanks for the recommendation, Matsy. I'm really enjoying it, mate. I think it's time to have a cuppa, have something to eat. Maybe I'll have an early lunch, and just sit here and then soak up. The sun's actually starting to hit the site now, so what I might do is just take it easy for a bit and rest after the walk in, and then I'll do a bit more of an explore around locally, and then if I've got time I might head further up the valley and see if there are any nicer spots than this. But I'm really liking this spot now. The only thing that's holding it back so far is that I haven't been able to find a clear flat spot yet, and obviously I don't want to destroy any of the vegetation that's here already, because it's quite beautiful and that's exactly what I'm looking for. So alright, let's go. Bought my favourite little mug again, the Unigear mug. Shout out to Unigear. They reached out to me last year and sent me a few products to have a look at, and unfortunately I haven't been able to look at the gear too much yet, but that's about to change. I've got a couple of other bits from Unigear that I'm going to bring out, especially for this type of camping. But yeah, I'm loving this little Unigear mug, the titanium mug, and it fits my little burner stove in there perfectly. So what we'll do is I'll make up a cup of coffee, and yeah, we'll have something to eat. That's how I make the coffee in the Unigear mug, using the Wakako capsule system. So I use the Cafe Italy espresso capsules in my Wakako, and it's good for making a barista quality coffee out in the bush. Right, so we're at about 11:15 now, so I've actually made better progress than I thought, considering the scrub is really thick around here. So I'll have my coffee, have something to eat, then I'm going to work out whether I head further up the valley or I start making my way back down. What I'm going to do, because this side of the creek is a lot flatter than the other side, I'm going to push up here to find some less dense bush so that I can move laterally along the valley, because it tends to be far more denser the closer you get to the creek at the bottom of the valley. So I'll make my way directly up the valley and then work out whether I want to traverse further up or start heading back. But considering what I've seen here, I'm really liking this valley, and it's got a lot to offer. So most definitely interested in coming back here to camp. So I talked a little bit before about safety while you're out in the bush by yourself, and I said that I carry the DeLorme InReach SE, which has got the SOS button if I get into trouble out here. But I've also got other redundancies as well in terms of safety. So you might have seen on previous videos I always use the Garmin Fenix 6S Pro GPS watch to navigate while I'm out here, and I've got all my courses through this area pre-programmed into here, and I know where I started from so I can navigate back there. But I'm also carrying Garmin eTrex Summit HC as a redundancy in case that I lose my watch or it goes flat or something like that. So I've got the ability to navigate out of here. Plus also in a pinch you can pair the InReach DeLorme to a smartphone and use it as a GPS receiver for your smartphone, so then you can use your smartphone to navigate out of here. So I've got double redundancy when it comes to navigation. Now, in the event that I do get stuck out here overnight or something, I've created for myself a little, I guess you could call it a safety kit, but what it has in it is water filtration. I've got some paracord that I carry with me for cordage. I've got a head torch, the ability to start a fire. So I've got a fire steel and also a cigarette lighter. I've got a knife. I've got a knife, fork, spoon set. I've also got in the back here, for safety in terms of warmth, is a reflective blanket. So I could use that to keep myself warm, or even set up a fire reflector or something to keep myself warm while I'm out here if I get stuck out here overnight. And there's also an emergency poncho in the back there you can even act as like a bit of a hoochie or something to keep dry in the event of rain, or gets quite heavy dew out here in the cooler months. So this is what I've decided to start carrying when I come out on these little missions, as a bit of a safety backstop in case something bad was to happen. But in saying that though, I take all the precaution to make sure that that doesn't happen. I've also got a first aid kit in my backpack as well. I thought I felt something wiggling up the leg of my pants. I just pulled a leech off. It was only a real tiny one, but that's something I'm going to have to keep an eye out for in this scenario, is that it's quite damp and there's leeches around. So alright, we're all packed up. Time to push up the slope here and then work out whether we're going to go further up the valley or start making our way back to the vehicle. Note to self, don't stand on slippery logs. Oh. Well, that fall right there demonstrated the potential for things to go wrong very quickly out here. Hence why it's even more important to bring all of the safety devices with you. I fell right onto my hip then on that slippery log, and it was a bit stupid, but I was trying to get up out of the blackberries and yeah, stood on the log and slipped over. Stupid. I think I've just stumbled on an old side cut track here. You can see there's a definite cut there and it flattens out and then it drops off again. So, and it's running in the direction I want to go too. So I'm going to follow it along for a little bit and see if it makes the travel easier, because it's tough at the moment. Well, that track's already petered off, so, and it's sort of veered away from the creek valley a little bit, so I'm just heading back downhill again to pick up the creek again, because I don't want to get too far away from it. How are we going to do this without going tits up into the water? Right, we're just going to have to jump it, aren't we? 3, 2, 1. Jump! Oh! 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 That was a bit of a quad muscle pull. Oh. Ah. And we're back into the blackberries again. Jesus. Oh. Youch. That hurt a bit. Alright. Let's get through here. Ah. If you guys have never seen the YouTube channel Geo Wizard, I highly recommend going to watch that guy. The torture he puts himself through like this is incredible. Oh yes, clear bush. Oh, these bloody blackberries are doing my head in. There's a decent sized termite mound. Just did another leech check just to be sure. Haven't had a leech on me in years. We're making good headway now. The bush has cleared out a bit. We'll keep pushing. There we go, just went down again. Stepped on this slippery stick here. There's so much wet timber out here and it's so easy to slip over. Gotta really be careful. And just like that, I've emerged from the bush. That was an absolute slog through there. It really turns me off, that location with the amount of blackberries. It's just not a pleasant experience just getting tangled and pushing through that much blackberries. It really sours the experience for you. In case any of the international viewers don't know, blackberry is an invasive species in Australia and it's just absolutely taken off in some locations. So it really puts a downer on the natural beauty of the bush. Anyway, I do have a few more spots to try out, but I'm not completely disheartened with what I found in there. It's just the getting to and the getting back is tough, and it can be quite dangerous on my own, as you saw with me falling over several times. And as I said, I don't want to put other people at risk trying to come and rescue me. Anyway guys, as always, thanks for watching. Hit the like button, don't forget to subscribe, and look out for more adventures from All Things Outdoors. Thanks guys, see you later.